All right, welcome back to the Try You channel, where we don't give a shit what you had for dinner, unless maybe you're eating pussy.
Or a fuck.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck. But if you're eating pussy, we don't really have anything, we don't have an API for that, but it'd probably be worth posting maybe. What we're going to talk about today, or right now, is our top 10 albums, a custom list that we've both made. And this is the albums. Mine is my 10 favorite albums to listen to while under the influence of marijuana, which I won't do because it's illegal in Ohio, but this is hypothetically if I was going to use it. This is the albums I would pick to listen to. And I'll just go through quickly. I put number 10, Absolutely Free by the Mothers of Invention. It's all these albums I like one a really wide and varied mix of songs and just a lot of different type of sounds. I kind of like to be overwhelmed with waves of sound. Number 9, I put a John Coltrane album, which all of his I've been listening to have just blown me away. Somebody described his music as sheets of sound. And it's overwhelming, kind of like a Hendrix for me. Number 8, Houses of Holy. I know you put that on your list. For me, it's the best Zeppelin album to listen to for that. Possibly Physical Graffiti, because it's just got so many. But Houses of Holy, No Quarter, is just such a great song for that. Number 7 is White Light, White Heat by the Velvet Underground. One of my favorite albums. All these are some of my favorite albums for anything. Number 6, Incesticide by Nirvana. Number 5, Get Behind Me Satan by the White Stripes. Number 4, Electric Ladyland, Jimi Hendrix. Number 3 is Wowee, Zowee by Pavement. That's just got, if you've never heard that album, it's just got such a wide variation of sound on it, and it's a longer album. It's 3 sides on vinyl. I think there's 17 songs. And they're all great, and they're different. He's got a good mix of sound on there, and it'll make you feel pretty good. Okay, Computer by Radiohead, and I should mention now, and it's just reminding me, I didn't allow any of these albums that were in my original top 10 list of favorite albums. So Kid A would have probably been my Radiohead pick, but it's already in my top 10. As well as a lot of these others. I don't allow repeat artists on this list. So number 1, and this is still I don't have any reservations about putting this one there. It was when I was in high school, it was this way. I mean, when I was in 4th grade, it was my favorite album, but I didn't smoke pot then too often. It's Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band by, of course, the Beatles. And I will, my cousin, who I've mentioned several times, I used to live with him, but before that, when we were in high school, he used to have a place where you could smoke pot pretty freely because he had a bathroom hooked up to his bedroom. So you could actually go into the bathroom that had a lock on it and you could blow the smoke out of the window. So we were pretty safe there doing that, and I remember he would let me pick the music. He wasn't too much into music. He liked good music, but he just didn't care. He was usually playing some sort of, I think Mario 3, and I would put on an album and just lay back, and Sgt. Pepper's was the one I always did. I remember one time I was laying there, he had a loft bed, so I was just laying on the floor listening to the CD. He was playing Nintendo, or whatever, game system, and there was a Dairy Queen commercial at the time where there was like mountains of chocolate, like an avalanche, and I almost felt like I was eating a Hershey bar, and I almost felt like I was inside of that commercial. And I can't get that high.
The first time I did acid, we went out to the flight line, and I felt like I was in that commercial because we were in the woods, and it was at Wright Pat Air Force Base where the planes would fly over when they'd land, and we built a big bonfire out there. But when we were hiking up through the trails, it was a little bit muddy, and I felt like I was in that. So I remember that commercial. That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's I can't get that way anymore. I don't know what kind of. I mean, it's just not going to happen. It'd probably be a nightmare if I induced myself into that kind of state. And back then, I did have an experience, and I remember this is the same house, listening to the same album, but my cousin was way more experienced than me at smoking it. And I got to the point where every time he went into the bathroom to smoke another bowl, somehow in my mind, I felt obligated. And I thought, I can't say no. So I just kept going and trying to keep up with him. I don't even know if I was trying to keep up. in my mind, I just wasn't allowed to say no.
You
So-
got ripped.
Oh, and it got to the point where, and I wasn't going to church ever in my life, and I wasn't real religious, and I don't know if I believed in hell at that time in my life, but I got into my mind that the devil was coming after me.
Oh boy.
And then there's these images, and it wasn't just the devil. There was this like witch lady in my mind running in the streets of our hometown, just coming after me. And I didn't really admit that to my cousin. I just told him, man, I'm freaking out. I kept telling him, he's just up there laughing, not even paying attention to me. And I'm getting to the point where it's like emergency room level freak out.
Yeah.
And I can't really function. And I'll never forget, I'm trying to get him to help me in any way he can. And we weren't old enough to go buy beer or anything to try to bring it down. And I don't even think I would have realized that might work. I was so freaked out. And I was like,
I wouldn't have known to do that.
And he finally starts listening to me. I'm like, good, he's going to talk to me, help talk me down. He's like, do some push-ups. And I did. I got on the ground and started doing push-ups. And I stopped and I was like, I just call out to him, hey, this isn't helping, the push-ups. And he just starts laughing. He's like, you're fucking doing push-ups? I was like, yeah, you told me to. And it was one of those experiences that was insane. But that album was on, and it didn't have anything to do with me feeling bad. It was just that was the album I went to whenever we smoked pot. I think we have time if you want to go through your list. That's really all I have to say. I do want to say though, I've had some of my favorite times back then was listening to either Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds or Day in the Life. That song, Day in the Life, can make you feel like you're floating. So it's so good no matter how you listen to it. But
so that'll bring me to my top 10 acid list. But
I don't have
this is my top 10 stoner list. So number 10, I have Dinosaur Jr., Where You Been? And I remember in high school, my one buddy, he had kind of like an apartment that was a basement of a condo with his own bathroom. And it was a lot of space, so we used to hang out over there and smoke pot and blow it through a paper towel roll with the dryer sheets.
I never did that. I heard about that a lot.
And we painted a giant mural on his wall of that album cover.
Oh wow!
While we were ripped, and that was really cool.
That one doesn't have Feel the Pain on it, does it? That's the song I'm most familiar with by them. I'll let you go though.
I think you would really get into the guitar player.
Jim Mathis.
Yeah,
he's got a guitar named after him. It's a white jazz master, I believe.
He's really good live. I saw him open up for Primus not too long ago.
That'd been a show I loved.
He just stands out there, and I think you'd like it seeing him
would.
live. 9, this could be number 1. Really, when I'm doing this order, these could go all over the place. But I put the White Album, the Beatles.
1 for me too, but it's not in my top 10.
And it's so good. Helter Skelter comes to mind.
Your Blues.
Of some when you're stoned, or they're just really cool.
Happiness is a Warm Gun is one of my favorites.
Number 8 we talked about before, that's in your top 10, but You Got Me, that album, and I listened to it stoned, and I remember calling you going, holy shit, man, this sounds so cool.
That could be a number
it's
one.
Kid A by Radiohead. Number 7, I put this on there because the very first time I got stoned was at Miami University at Oxford, and I was 15, and we went up there with some older kids. And I remember getting high, and I was laying on the floor of this apartment, and they played this album, Lenny Kravitz's Mama Said, and it has this song called Fields of Joy, and I just felt like I was in the song.
Oh, wow.
And it's a really descriptive, slow acoustic guitar song talking about the Fields of Joy. It's really cool. Number 6, I put Led Zeppelin 3, which there's so many Zeppelins that was what I grew up on when I was in my stoner years, was Led Zeppelin. Girls loved it. I loved it. We jammed to it, driving around Yellow Springs constantly. Number 5, I put Check Your Head by the Beastie Boys, which is great. We talked about the bongo drums on there. And that was a tour that came around when I was in high school, and I'm still pissed I didn't go see it.
I didn't either.
Number 4, I got Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced? And I remember getting stoned before school in the mornings, listening to Hendrix a lot, and it would stay in my head all day because it was so powerful. Number 3, Grateful Dead, American Beauty, which is another classic that I listen to that constantly. Number 2, Houses of the Holy, we talked about that. No Quarter is my favorite song to listen to stoned. And my friend Danny, he had a red 86 candy apple red Honda Prelude with an Alpine system. And we used to drive around Yellow Spring, smoke bowls, and listen to that song real loud, and it was killer.
Yeah, some of the drumming on that, Bonham's great and everything, and some of it, I think he got a little bit. There's a little bit different sound. I think he was a little more experimental, and I think Bonham on any list is great.
And they mentioned that album in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. So
yeah.
And then number 1, I put Dark Side of the Moon because it's just the whole. Just the Stone. The whole album flows and.
It's like one long.
Like
one long journey or song, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's really cool.
Yeah, I could have put that in mine as well. So, another Floyd. There's 4 Floyds I'm considering.
Oh yeah, even like Obscured by Clouds or Echoes, or you could get out
Echoes.
there.
Yeah, Animals is probably my number 1 contender.
I like Animals. I get a little paranoid about the cancer when he's talking about the guy having cancer.
Oh
if
yeah.
I'm stoned.
Well, now I can't do it.
but I remember us going to see that cover band play that whole album straight, and it was so cool.
That'll make you realize what a great album that is.
Yeah.
I was gonna add New Kids on the Block, but
you ran out of time.
Ran out of time. It makes me think I don't know.
I saw them live at the Ohio State Fair.
Were you stoned?
No, I was too young to have been stoned.
But you can still get a hard on.
But man, there was a lot of
This
pretty,
where we didn't. I
ladies.
don't think we talked about hand jobs in the last couple of things. We were supposed to talk about a hand job in every fucking video.
we didn't check our notes.
Oh man, see, because you could have maybe got a hand job by all members of the New Kids on the Block. It would have been better if you were stoned. All right, we'll end it there. See ya.